What is going on, friends? Sean Don coming back with a technical analysis. Here we have Collin, Wainwright. All right, sent in this video yesterday. I've been quick on the returns lately, usually within 24 hours. So if you guys are interested in technical analysis of your own, go to www.gripandrip.co and sign up. And within 24 hours, most likely, you can have some feedback from your boy, Sean Don. Happy to help. All right, now's the time to sign up if you want to throw far later this season. Got to make the technical changes ahead of time. Work them out, you know? So that's it. Let's get into it. Collin. Let's take a look. Throwing off the asphalt. Love to see it. Been there many a time, just throwing in random parks. Especially back when I was in Ohio. Okay, so very leftward planed orbit, which I've been more of a fan of lately. I'm starting to understand perhaps the importance of getting that low point a little bit after zero versus before zero, shattering my own preconceptions. Okay, we're gonna get into it. All right, let's break it down. Gotta pause it though. Okay, so starting mid winds, feet looking sturdy, opening up to the right well, arms nice and relaxed. Good step up here. Left shoulder comes down, you're shifting to the right as well as left. Very, very long to the left. I think perhaps, I don't want to say too long to the left, but this position is rarely seen, I think, in hammer throwing. People are so focused on getting the ball on their right side that most people don't let the hammer go off to the left, perhaps like they need to. And to be fair, Collin, I think maybe this is a little bit over-exaggerated, because then as you do sort of let the hammer go really long to the left and you're really outstretched with this right arm, it's going to be harder to turn back with the shoulders, and you get this kind of funky position. But that being said, I do like the right elbow down. Like, it does look pretty good. I think you do a decent job. There is a little bit of head peeking around the corner, left side leaning a little bit early. But, yeah, I think maybe just, let's see. I don't know what kind of frame rate this video is, but it's slowing down my computer. Yeah, maybe perhaps be a little less aggressive with this like super wide orbit around the left. I don't know though. At the same time, I kind of dig it. I'm not really too biased one way or the other, but because you do a good job of holding and staying patient. Left side's pretty stable. You're up on the ball of the foot. Right foot's looking stable, sturdy into the ground. Hips are underneath you. Shoulders are level for the most part. Left shoulder does come down. And this is one thing that I think is like really close. All right, so I like how like the elbows are kind of squeezed together. Like I said, the head's leading a little bit. If the ball's back at zero, head's just a little bit ahead of you. But then it looks like your hands, I don't know if you're working your hands down here, or maybe you're trying to feel some like core or lat tension or something, whatever you might be trying to feel. But it looks like your hands do kind of work downwards, right there through zero. Your hands are working down, which isn't a bad thing, as I will kind of elaborate on later in the video, but it's not the best thing in my opinion. So like I like that you're setting the orbit up in the winds and entry a little bit after zero. I do dig that, like I said. As this low point kind of gets just after zero, the ball gets, I'm not going to steal this term from Lance Steele and Stuart Toger and stuff, but it does get more free. The ball works for you when the low point is a little bit after zero versus if the hammer is off to the right, you have to fight against it. All right, so this is a thing that I've worked on for a long time, and turns out I was pretty wrong. I don't know. But turning with the hammer, you could see this right leg turn a little bit more, get this right hip a little bit more engaged as it goes left. Your hips are kind of working up into the hammer. And then you rise up a little bit here. You can see this is very subtle. If you look at the hips, if you look at the torso, this ball goes around the left, you go, oop, and then rise up just a little bit. You get tall. I like how tall you are through the shoulders here, but I'd rather see your hips stay low down to the ground, because then you're going to see you also kind of drop down just a little bit as the hammer begins to drop as well. All right, so you're a little off there. You need to be doing the opposite. As the hammer rises, you need to be dropping and spiraling downwards. And then as the hammer rises up, or sorry, as the hammer drops down, you're just holding your position and staying strong and standing up, but not standing up, if that makes sense. So you catch, hips are underneath you. This is great. Sturdy back, staying on top. I dig it. Left heel to grounds, right foot's turning. Left shoulder's down. Orbit is playing really good. But then same thing. It looks like your hands are kind of working downwards here. Hands work down. All right. I'd rather see the ball come forwards a little bit more. So from this position, I like this catch position. I'd rather see the ball go out towards what would be the camera versus down towards the ground. So think about keeping the ball up and out away from the body, long radius away from the body. You still want your hips towards the hammer and you want them tucked underneath you and have good posture. But if you can feel this ball stretch forwards away from the body, kind of more flat, especially in this first catch, you're going to feel the ball stretch forwards. You're going to feel this nice pendulum backwards, especially as you go through zero. You're going to feel this whoosh, and you're going to get thrown backwards as the ball stretches forwards. It's going to create a reaction, hopefully. And then as long as you keep everything else turning the way that you are, you have this left side going backwards as it goes through zero. The left shoulder's down. Hips are working up into the throw. You're staying back on this right side. And then you don't rise up as much here. You see how you're quicker with it. You catch. A little bit flatter. Shoulders down, hips underneath you. You see this left side shifting back again. And then you can see it you can see the ball start to rise up on you a little bit. So like that very first turn, like I said, you're nice and on top of it. You can see the hands starting to get a little bit high over the head. Catch, you're dropping a little bit better here. So this is a better catch here for sure. Hips underneath you. I think the orbit is a little bit high here. The hands are a little bit up too much. I think it could be a little bit flatter. But that kind of comes back to mostly perhaps just being patient. Feet are nice and even, down in the legs here. Left heel comes down. I think you could be a little bit more patient, perhaps. Left side just pulling back a little early, of course, but as orbit shifts, that left side stays with it really well, which is great. But then the hips looks like they're almost getting sucked downwards a little bit by the ball. So like you're not actually getting deeper in the legs as the turn goes on, which is good. But perhaps think about standing up, but not standing up. You go to like an isometric squat. Holding this position, hips working, knees working, what am I saying? Not toes, feet. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Hips and knees working, legs working to fight against the ball, counter it. But you only want to match it. You don't want to overtake it, if you will. But you can see here the orbit starts to get steep downwards, hips towards the hands. I should say hands towards the hips. Ball is closer towards the body when it needs to be long out, away, perhaps out and up as it goes around the left. You see you getting a little tight because then you're going to come up if you're a little tight and leading the hammer through here. So you're kind of turning this left side open early. Turn this left side across, hips working up into throw. The direction of the throw is instead of going to 180 is going to get pulled and thrown down this left sector line, which is what you can see. You see the high point is about there. Shoulders getting pulled forwards, hands up high. Once again, you're not quite staying on top of the ball. Your hips are underneath you again, which is great. You're doing a good job of that. And your left shoulder is down, which is good, but your hands are just a little bit too high. You see this little bit of left foot skipping across. And then you don't quite have this right side working the way it needs to because you catch, you can see here, you catch flat-footed almost, and then left side's doing all the turning until the ball gets to about there. And your hips finally going up into the throw, a little tight in the shoulders, hips up, out into the throw. You can see this left side coming off a little bit early as a sign that you are kind of pulling that left side and like throwing it out there. So, I mean, yeah, dude, I think you have some really good things going for you. I just think, like I said, let's go back. A little over accentuated there, and then just try to keep the hands out away from the body. Not even the hands, think about the ball. I want you to think about the ball. Focus on the ball. Ball cues are typically better than body cues. All right? Hammer out far away from the body, especially in front of you, especially around the left. All right? Stay on top of the ball. What you do there. And then don't let the hands kind of work down and tighten up and pull this left side kind of in and tight cross body. You want to let the hammer be free around the left, free forwards to create tension, free around the left to 180. Let the ball grow towards the sector, the amplitude, if you will. So, yeah, it's really just keeping the hands out away from the body. You can see, I think you just work the ball down a little bit more and a little bit tighter towards the body as the turns go on. So, yeah, that's it. I think that's all it really comes down to. So if you have any questions, Collin, please don't be afraid to ask. I am happy to clarify and help you out in any way that I can. And if anybody else out there would like a technical analysis, go to www.gripandrip.co. All right. Like I said, now is the time to sign up. Also, that's kind of like the metaphor of my business name, Grip and Rip. Get after it right now. Don't think about it. Go do it. Don't hesitate. All right. So it's a lifestyle. You got to live it. Okay. Grip and Rip, baby. Go sign up now. Sean Don, signing off. Thank you for watching.